Hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it. So I'm Bushka on Blitz. If this is your first time to channel, aren't you a lucky ducky? Kick back, feet up, headphones on. Let the headphones do the work. Let the game come to you. Relax as we do love song dedications. Caller, you're on the air. Oh, this one's for my wife. She's a big fan of the Panther II, Bushka, and she really likes Stevie Wonder. Can you do I Just Called to Say I Love You? Absolutely, mate. I just called to say I love you. Yeah. Anyway, back to the recording of the Panther II video. No, this isn't really a Panther II video. It's 3 videos. It's the Panther II in a T9 game, it's a T54 in a T9 game, and a Yag Tiger in a T9 game. And I just want to have a chat to you about this video in particular. I've always enjoyed a little bit of Panther II. That's a lie. I used to think this tank was absolutely pants. And it still has its issues and its detractors. And some of them, not without cause, do point out that it's quite slow. I mean, it has a high top speed, but it's not particularly good at getting there. But what it does have, it doesn't really lack for, is a gun that works in a very, very efficient manner. And we're going to put that to good use here in this game. We're going to work around, do the best we can, and just try and smack a few reds up. Now, if this drops, when this drops, I'm probably going to be in the Big Apple. When it comes down the pike, I will be in the real stink of it, in the meat of it. We might have been to see a baseball game. I was going to try and see the Mets or the Yankees, because those are the 2 teams in New York. See that? See what I did there? A little bit of inside baseball info. And I'm really looking forward to it. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to catch up with anyone over there. I'm only there for 6 days. And I haven't seen my big boy, Tom, for about a year now. So I want to take all the time I possibly can to run around New York with him and Junior, who's never been there before, and the missus, who's never been there before as well. But back to the Panther II. What the Panther II has going for it is a great big gun. It's not as long as the Panther 1. I'm a huge fan of the Panther 1. Massive, massive fan. And the long 75 that you can get on that Panther 1 is absolutely glorious. It is an interesting looking vehicle, and it just looks predatory with that huge big 75. This thing, though, has a good gun, a really good gun for a tier 8 tank. You can see an IS-8 there that we're panning pretty much cool as a cucumber, no problems whatsoever. Our AMX decides now that he's lost all targets, he's going to drive forward, and that's bad. He's been in spawn the whole time, not really having anyone to shoot at for the last couple of minutes, last 60 seconds kind of thing. And he's now actually pushing forward at a time when you should be flexing away from the battle. And you can see I'm trying to move back and give myself some distance so I can then trade damage for distance, because I've only got 3 heavies left. This poor guy has moved forward when there's 3 heavies left. So they're basically, he's making it easier for them to actually get to him. And that's exactly what's happened. That IS-3 Defender is just going to roll over. He's chugged over the top of the hill and taken a big chunk out of our AMX CDC. And this is really an unwinnable game now. We've got IS-3, IS-3 Defender, and more importantly, we've got a big RC-75, which is a square tomato-coloured heavy tank that comes from the German pie-eating branch of the E100 family. It's like the big brother of this thing, in fact. Only it hurts a lot more and is a lot harder to pen. That's because it's a monstrous tier 9 heavy. So what I'm doing now is moving back to the back of the battlefield. I'm going to the back of the battlefield. You been to the battlefield? Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. I see the back of the battlefield all the time when I'm actually trying to throttle the enemy, throttle them with my bare hands. This defender's the guy I'm really looking for. I'd just like to say that's a great shot, but he's an absolute grub. I don't know how some of these other shots... this is APCR, right? Anyway, I digress. There's an IS-3 right in front of me. There's an IS-3 Defender over there. There is an E75 coming up. Things are looking very, very grim indeed. And this Defender simply won't come out. I finally get the shot I want, but it's a Defender. Good going, Russian OP. We've got no choice. The E75 is going to make this a very, again, I would love to know who designed that bloody IS3 Defender so that I could send them a email saying how much I admire them as a developer and think that they are vastly underpaid. We take another one from the Defender at the back, put another one into the IS3. We're going to get another one in the IS3 here. Things are looking pretty bloody grim, and they remain so. The forecast is for getting wrecked, with constant showers and thunderstorms of even more getting wrecked throughout the week. So we start that one off a little bit poorly. But the two things there that I think were really worth talking about is the fact that people do this all the time in games. They take passive positions at the start of a game, and then when the team disappears, they then turn those into aggressive positions, which is exactly the opposite of the way you should be doing it. And you saw I eked out just over 2,700 damage in a tier 9 match by taking a fairly aggressive position in the early stages of the game and then forcing them to come to me later in the game and trading damage for distance. And that was very nearly, I mean, if one of those shots had gone in the IS3 Defender, then that was a very, very doable game. I could have killed the IS3 and then tried to side hug out the E75. But alas, it's not to be. And you can see, again, I'm going to do that here in the T54. Just in case you were wondering what the point of that first game was. That's what I'm talking about, right? So, I'm pushed up here in the T54. Now, this is an absolute key spot on this map. I've only got 5 degrees of gun depression. There's ways around that by resetting camo and moving up, but mostly you just got to be patient here. Because if you're patient, you'll end up with shots. And if you're impatient, like you can see that AMX 1390, he pushed right over the top of the hill and then pulled back in the line of fire on that Type 61. If you're impatient, you end up getting hit and bleeding too much to be effective. Being hull down is a bit of a secret with it. In any medium tank, if you are full hit points, then anyone that pushes on you has to trade a lot to get rid of you. If you are low hit points, well, then people will start thinking about trading and moving up on you and actually doing that. So what I'm just trying to do here is stay low, tempt shots out of the 61, and then look for targets of opportunity from an aggressive stand here. And it's exactly what I find. I find that Tiger 2. I'm keeping an eye on the 54 down below. I know there's an IS6 over there at the back. There is still a TD lurking around there somewhere. He's not popped at the moment. There's a 61. He's trouble. Oh, there we go. There's a target there, an E75. I'll take that. There's our TD right below us. And the 61 is cruising up and down, getting him. We're down a tank, right? We've lost one tank. But I'd really like to clear this bloke. And that I cop one there because basically I turned the turret to get a shot in that Type 61. And lo and behold, someone shredded the side of my turret, which happens in the big league. So we've taken one shot, but we've put an awful lot of damage out. Got to clear this IS6. We've only got 3 tanks left. I'm one of them. This is not good. It's now 3 versus 7. So what I got to do is trade damage for distance. This is what I was talking about with the the Panther II in the last game. That IS6 wants to come up and get involved. All well and good. I'm happy for him to come up and get involved. But I am going to absolutely make sure that by the time he gets there, there's going to be a lot less IS6 to get involved with. And I've not exposed myself yet. I'm letting the game come to me. It's now 2 on 6. Noob team, says our Object 704. Yeah, mate, whatever you reckon. You must have been amazing. I can't wait to see how many thousands of damages you did at the end of the game. I'm jumping the adrenaline. There is my mate, the 61. Oh, suddenly it's 2 on 3. Well, what do you know? Things are not exactly so bad. And we forced them to come to us. We forced them to actually trade damage for distance. And that's really good. It's really, really effective. And it's as long as we hit both these shots, we're going to end up in a 2 on 1 because our Yag Tiger has poked all kinds of holes in the boyos that pushed up on him. And he takes another kill, and that's 4 kills for the Yag and 2 for me. And there's only a very low hit point Tiger 2 left because I know, because I've already hit him a couple of times. That was an aggressive position right from the start of the game. And it's an obviously aggressive position, right? But it's such a necessary position. I've had so many big games in that position there. Rich Raff, my old mate Rich Raff, loves that. And I used to like muddle around the map all over because I'm like, I don't have gun depression. He's like, you got to go to the middle bush. You just absolutely got to go to the middle. And so, oh, what a time to miss. What a time to miss. But that's all right. Karma, karma. We miss, you miss, we all miss together. And there's our third kill. And it really is. It's the linchpin of the entire map. You can control so much from there, and you can spot so much from there, and you can just be so positive and have such a good impact from there. 4,300 damage there. Excellent stuff. Good work, team. Last game. This is the Yag Tiger. By the way, that T54 game, I'll give you a little heads up. I'm doing a WZ120 review, or a recap, because I just wanted to go back to it and drive it again and see how it went. I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination to say that my ideas on the WZ120 are negative, and that I don't think it's a very good tank. Okay, so I'm not spoiling the review here, but I literally stopped playing it and went, have I just forgotten how to play tanks, or is it that the tank is really bad? And the first game that I had after the WZ120 was that T54 game. This is one of the games I had before the WZ120 review, but suffice to say, everything between the two was pants. Yag Tiger, this is not a great position to be in. We've got two heavies that have gone to town. We've got another TD, a waffle tractor loitering about on the back end of the stage, up by the tracks. And I worry when waffles are there because it can be very hard for a waffle tractor once it's spotted to live for very long there. You might be wondering why I've taken this position. Well, I can actually back up my mediums pretty hard here, but the big issue you have in an open desert like this when you're in a Yag Tiger or any TD that doesn't have a turret is if you push out even a little bit, say 10 meters, oh seriously, like are you kidding? Then you can have a really, really tough time if you get pushed on. Once they take a shot or two to get round you, you're dead. You can't do anything about it. Your traverse is so poor. The terrain is very poor for traverse as well. So we're starting to fight back for the good guys here. 4 on 6 now. That's good. 6 on 3. But that's all right. I mean, surely my shots will all go in from here on in. Yeah, no, they won't. They won't, Bushka. In fact, they won't. There's a waffle tractor in me, and there is an IS-6 floating about over there. So you heard me say earlier about how I like to be arse up against the zone line, because it means it's very, very easy to squeeze people off. If people try and push past you and they can't, you can bring the DPM on this tank to bear. And this has the most damage per minute you can find in the game outside of, say, a guy hitting every shot with Hesh and getting a full roll on a bloody 183. But this is very dangerous, what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is exceptionally dangerous. And you only do this when you don't have a choice. Because, oh my God, could I miss that super Pershing? Again, that was me, not the gun that time. So thank you. Thank you very much. Finally. And the reason it's dangerous is because one of these guys gets past me. If I miss this shot, I'm dead. Like, that guy will kill me, hey? As soon as they get past you, you are absolutely screwed. And this 61, despite the fact that I think the 61 is a reasonable tank, I think it's got a lot of issues with armor and such, but he really is trying to hide, and he should have been pushing past me, my God. So it's now 1 on 2. Things could be a little bit grim here. We've got a Tort, we've got, you know, that Premier over there. I don't know if he understands just how much DPM this tank has going for it, because he should not have stopped there. He really shouldn't have stopped, and stopping gave me the opportunity to actually get across and make sure I keep him in front of me. My armor profile isn't amazing, by the way. It's good enough you can side scrape it, and if you can put it hull down, you'll be okay. But it's not good enough to just be in an open field and angle up to any kind of tank that's got decent pen. And the Premier has like 230mm of pen on its AP. So it can easily get through the upper glaciers. Now we're in a bit of strife, because if we don't hit all our shots here, this guy is going to get us. And oh my God, that. Oh, anyway, no time. We've got to hit all our shots now. Yep. So what I'm going to do is push up into this taut. The reason I'm pushing up into the taut is because it gives me a big angle and allows me to duck down really quickly and then put my gun mantlet straight in front of the taut and then just rely on the ridiculous DPM of the Jagdtiger and get the job done. And there we go. Pretty big save. 6 kills. Very nice. Getting the 6 kills. 4,300 damage. 1,428 XP. We did it from the flank too, which was really rare in a Jag to be doing it like that. And we even had a couple of crazy misses there that were both our fault and the fault of the tanks. RNG's loaded weaponry. That's it, boys and girls. Hope I'm having a good time in New York. Hope you're having a good time while I'm in New York. Be nice to each other and stay safe on the battlefield.